Ahoy there.
It's been a while. It's been a while. But us as what do you call it? I think they call it YouTube cruisers or cruise tubers. Cruise tubers. We kind of fall in that category of cruise tuber because a lot of the travel that you and I do, or you, I, and family do, are generally with cruising. It's no secret. We really enjoy cruising. So that is definitely a thing.
We're just babies on the scene, but that's what we fall under probably.
Yeah, we're babies on the scene. And I mean, but we really do enjoy cruising. Yeah, right. We do. We've gone all over the place.
That's probably our preferred form of travel these days. Since the kids were small and we found Carnival and how easy it was to spend a week or 10 days with the family and do things. It was just such an easy route to go.
It's very cost efficient too. If you are a family trying to travel, I noticed a long time ago that, trying to take the kids to go see family in California, you're trying to find the hotel in which you're staying at that's going to make everybody happy. And is there going to be enough space? Probably not. Then there's all the family that wants to see everybody here, there, and all over the place. And the kids are like, I don't remember that person, aunt, whoever, and they would rather go to Disneyland, right? So,
not to mention the 2 or 3 days of travel from Texas to California, which is where Texas to California, and finding all the places to stay, finding gas stations along the way, making sure everybody has their potty breaks.
Food.
Oh God!
Oh my God! The food.
3 kids and 2 adults all trying to find food from point A to point B, and you're going through places that you're not quite used to. Even though we've been there several times, you always seem to stop at different places. And it's always a new struggle on what are you eating, Amber? What are you eating, Casper? The whole 9 yards, know. And if you took a pet with you, that multiplies it even more. So.
Oh gosh, we started to add it up, and the kids' happiness, our sanity.
Sanity, that's a big
and one. The cost efficientness of cruising for a family was just, the savings was astronomical.
Which comedian was it that said that parents aren't interested in justice, they just want quiet?
Yeah, so he's been canceled, so
I know. Yeah, but I'm still going to kid. The quote stays the same.
Yeah,
we just want the peace and quiet to happen, and it's hard to do.
If you're spending all the dollars, you're like, what do you mean you're not happy? Are you kidding me? That is the thing. But anyhow, we digress. We've been on planes, trains, automobiles, big road trips,
stateside and international.
We've gone all over the place, but we are definitely we identify with the cruise community, and we follow some people in that cruise community. Ship Life, I really love his channel.
Yep. Lalita Loca.
Tony with Lalita Loca. The theme song in our house, we even have some family members that are with us right now, and you hear the dun 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 dun. We're already like doing our little dance because we know that it's cruise news time. Yep. So we love Tony from Lalita Loca. But somebody else that we do follow is Ben and David, or David and Ben, however you want to say that, Cruising with David and Ben. They are an adorable couple, and I really enjoy how they take us on. It's a different YouTube channel. Like Tony does, like, here's your cruise news. Ship Life does a different type of thing. He does a little bit of a vlog, a little bit of a newscast, but Ben and David straight up vlog their situation.
Plus, they're kind of foodies, and I can dig it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We want to know what we're eating. We want to know what we're eating. We want to know what they're ordering. How do they like it? All the things, and they describe it just lovely. I'm sorry. I'm hacky. Anywho, recently there has been some drama in regards to MSC. David and Ben it's flying around all over the place. This is not new news by any means, but this past week, David and Ben had left their MSC cruise, and I believe it was the Europa.
MSC Europa.
Yes. So they had gone on and done the yacht club experience, which I feel is very similar to maybe the Carnival's Havana situation.
Possibly, yeah.
We've done Princess, we've done Carnival. We haven't really expanded to other.
That's really where we've been. We're actually, MSC is one of the companies that will actually do status matching, or they used to. I haven't looked today to see if it's changed, but I was hoping it lasts long enough that as soon as we get to our platinum status, which is a couple more cruises away,
pretty soon,
then we would go try an MSC, do the match status, and then, take one every once in a while, and hopefully we can maintain that status. But that way we would have the status on at least 2 cruise ships.
Yeah.
And it really bugs me that the cruise companies that fall under the same mother company don't match status. It really, status? Yeah, exactly. At least to some extent. So we even own stock in Carnival Cruise, the mother company that owns like 7 other cruise lines,
like Holland America, Princess.
And we get some
in there as well?
No, MSC's totally separate.
Oh, okay.
But we do get onboard credits for each of those cruises depending on the length that we go on them, which is nice. It only counts for one of us. We could both have stocks independently, but we'd only get one of the room credits. Although we could book 2 different rooms, have 2 different sets of 100 stocks,
that's cool,
and both get the room. So if we took our kids these days, because we have 200 shares, we could actually get credit on 2 different rooms.
Okay, that's a whole nother.
That's a whole nother thing. Anyway,
situation. Ben and David were recently censored, and as vloggers, I have a whole nother YouTube channel. Actually, I have 2. I have two other YouTube channels with different types of content on it. So I've been doing this for a hot minute. I love to vlog. I love to vlog our trips. I think it's like my version of scrapbooking. We like to kind of have that same feeling. We like to document where we're going. We like to share it with the others, come along on our trip with us. So Ben and David's news of what had happened, we actually saw it on Lolita Loca with Tony. And then so I quickly went on over to Ben and David's channel and watched the whole video. The link is down below if you want to actually see their video and what had happened to them. But we have some thoughts about it. We are vloggers. We enjoy the vlogging life as well as the cruising life. But as bloggers, watching what happened to them gave us a few concerns. We understand that MSC has already issued a statement. So we'll tell you a little bit about that. But I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you want to give an overall synopsis of kind of what was going on? You just recently watched the video, so it's fresh in your mind.
They had a history of having a bad cruise with MSC and giving it a negative review. They're very unbiased. They buy their own tickets, they pay their own way, and they on that note, they try to be very unbiased and very truthful about what's going on and how things are going and lay it all out. And they were having a wonderful cruise. Everything I had heard on the entire thing up to the point they were booted off, or they weren't booted off, I apologize, up to the point they were muted and told they couldn't film anymore. Mind you, everybody else is still filming. They're just not allowed to.
Right. Not even with their cell phone, which is just absolutely ludicrous, because most cruises nowadays, I mean, it used to be you had to put your cell phone away, just use it as a camera, turn it off or whatever. Now there's QR codes all over the place. There's no way.
Well, it's part of your communication device. That's how you, instead of having walkie-talkies, now there's an app on most cruises, as far as I understand. I know it's that way on Carnival for sure, but you use an app and it not only gives you your menus, it gives you your daily schedules of activities. It reminds you that you have a excursion, on the app.
You get
It
your
gives you-
itinerary for the day.
It gives you a way to communicate with those you're traveling
so
with.
like if he wants to go to bingo, but I'm going over to the art gallery to go see the thing, he can see where I'm at in the day. I can see where he's at, and then it'll show you where both are at on the ship. It's very nice.
Even on the
how do you-
schedules, you can click on things
Yeah.
you're interested in, even if you hadn't gone there. But it'll give others in your party, hey, so and so's interested in that.
Mhm.
You know, why don't I join up with them? You know, and people can part off in different ways and do their thing, but also join up with other people in their party that are doing like-minded things. So the app's great, but it requires you to keep your phone on you.
Yeah, so
And
not having one on a cruise ship seems a little odd. But like Ben and David were told, I interrupted you, I'm sorry. They have a handheld camera, most likely on a gimbal. It shows it in the video. And I know that there are a lot of people that were kind of coming for them. They're like, well, maybe it's because they had large gear. I know Tony was talking about that for a little bit, but I didn't see anything so outlandish. I've seen people with like super lenses and all
I
different
think
kinds of
if they
stuff.
did have a gimbal, it was something that had like a handle
Little
about that
handheld
side.
camera. Mhm.
And it's really not much bigger than the camera itself. It's just free floating above their
Yeah.
hand.
A gimbal
I
kind of
don't-
keeps the camera steady so that you're not getting this situation.
Exactly.
It's nice,
But-
actually.
They are extremely sensitive to putting other people on screen.
Hmm.
They tend to not video where there's a lot of people. And if they do, they make sure they're far off. And it tends to be out of focus just enough that you don't really recognize who's behind them
Right.
or in the background scenes. But they're real cautious about not doing that in areas where there's a lot of people or where they're, you know, if they're dining, they're not going to be talking out loud and shining bright lights and doing all these things to the table next to them and interrupting their fine dining. I do suspect.
Tell me your thoughts, babe.
Well,
Tell me your thoughts.
I think what happened is one, yes, somebody ended up recognizing them that they're YouTubers because they were very professionally vlogging.
Well-
They're very active about what they're doing. So that's what they go on these cruises for. That's their job. That's really what they're doing. And when they're out there, they're on game. And I think because they were in the yacht club area,
Mhm.
you have people with more means than we do for sure. Me going on one of the yacht cruises, yacht club cruises, the cruise within a cruise scenario is probably not going to happen. I stay with the common folks, but or the ones on a budget anyway.
No.
Anyway,
But no,
yes.
but Cruise with Ben and David, they have 248,000 subscribers. Generally, when you're watching their videos, they're running around and people will be like, hi. They're recognizable.
Oh, it's very
They're
recognizable.
recognizable.
But I think somebody got very uncomfortable with some kind of means
Mhm.
and said, I don't want that in my area. I don't want to see that while I'm eating,
Highfalutin people.
or I don't want to walk down a hall and accidentally get filmed and be put up on somebody's YouTube.
Mhm.
And I think if they were in the other portion of the ship, that would have probably never happened. But
Because they were in yacht.
because
club?
they're in the yacht club, it's expected a little bit different. And
Mm.
therefore the people, the clientele, don't want to be bothered with that. And I think that's where a big portion of it. I'm not defending MSC, and I wasn't there. I don't know, but
Right.
that's my suspect. I think either there was an individual that really took offense to that happening because they spent, $5 or 10 grand to go on this cruise versus somebody that spent $3 grand. And I'm not talking about per ticket. I'm talking about
Per
overall.
cabin. Yeah, per cabin.
Yeah, type thing. So the clientele could kind of dictate that a little bit. And I think that MSC definitely handled it wrong
Yeah.
because they're not going to ban all the filming and camera taking.
Yeah.
And if they don't make it blanket for everybody, it's just not fair.
It's not fair.
And I think it was a
Okay.
mistake doing it to Ben and David, or David and Ben, because they've got a lot of followers, and they had such a good review coming out.
I know. It was the second time on MSC. Their first experience was not good. You'll probably find that on their channel as well. But the second experience was, I mean, they were loving it. And as I'm watching the video, I'm like, okay, MSC, like, okay, you should see these sweets. Not that they're huge and massive, but the amenities that do come with these suites are often things that sometimes we carry on ourselves just because we don't want to pay per diem on a lot of these things, because it gets really costly to go and get a cappuccino I mean, it's not like a cappuccino from home.
So you bring your
Yeah,
real
like a bring,
Diaz.
you can, I'm
Coffee
even
Diaz.
considering bringing there's like a Nespresso travel thing that, you pour the hot water in there. It's not a heating element, but it presses the coffee down. So that way you have
a coffee press.
It's
but
like
how do you heat the water up?
You can just get hot water from the spout and anywhere. Yeah. So I'm often up very early on the cruises. Yeah. You'll see me strutting around 5 a.m. strutting around. I want to get up.
My leg on yet.
No, he's in the thing. He's doing the stuff. I usually bring him tea, and as I have my coffee, I like to do a lot of my videoing when there's not people around because I'm sensitive to that, and I am usually the one behind the camera in our situation. You're just the hired help. Right. You're the star.
I'm the star.
He's a shiny star. He's a shiny star.
She doesn't pay me much, though, so I'm not very hired.
No. I pay for the cruise you go on.
There you go.
There you
go. I'm a kept pirate.
Pirate.
But I'm going to go on more cruises, or I'm going to.
But I've had difficulties. I'm going to say I've had some difficulties in regarding filming. I found that I go to little spots that are sort of tucked away. I don't usually film out in the open anymore, especially if there's any talking like this. I'll try to do a lot of voiceovers if that's what's happening, because it's just sometimes awkward. I would say sometimes awkward. Usually I'm over it because I talk a lot, but people will interrupt you. Sometimes they're nosy. Sometimes they're straight up disrespectful. I will never forget the Wooden Boat Festival when we were over in Port Townsend. This lady, while we're checking in, I'm trying to. Do you remember her? Yeah. She was really upset that I was filming with my cell phone. I don't have fancy equipment.
Open public place. It's just using her phone.
It's a festival. Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to be on your thing or whatever. I ended up putting a poop emoji over her face, but I still filmed. You're in a public area. You're on camera a lot. So that is a situation. People need to understand that. And if they even knew how many video cameras are actually on them on a cruise ship, they would be startled.
Absolutely.
They would be abruptly startled, I say. So it's not a big deal, but filming other people's faces, if they jump into your frame, they can clearly see that you're filming. And I'm just like, well, operator error for them, like, I don't really care, but I make it a point not to interrupt anybody's meal. I make it a point not to film any children. I make it a point to try to do more views. And if I'm trying to do this type of thing, I'm usually tucked away in the library or in a quiet little thing. And that's why I'm up so early. Yeah. Or I go back to my room. Sometimes I can't find a quiet place. On Alaska cruise, I had to go back to my room and explain things because I'm like, oh, there's not a
well, even
here.
Outside it was windy, so it was a lot of
it was a lot of wind. So there's that. But my heart goes out to David and Ben, and I encourage y'all to watch their video. They opted to get off of the cruise ship in Rome, and then they went home. I believe UK is their home, and they decided to do that. And I know that they're getting a little flack from that. Some people I've seen in the comments are being a little judgy McJudge in regards to that. And they're like, why wouldn't you just stay? If it was already day 4, why would you get off or whatever? Well, they were in port. So when you're in port, you do have that option to jump off the cruise ship. They do this for a living. They don't get their cruises for free. They pay for it themselves. They are sponsored. I believe they have an affiliate program with Amazon, and then there's some other things I think going on. But this is what they do, and it's been what they do
I think
full
Bill,
time.
yeah, it is. But I think Ben was just feeling very uncomfortable. And if he's uncomfortable and he's worried about getting side eye from all the staff.
Well, and if you're at that level of uncomfortable to decide to leave,
yeah,
what really happened?
Right.
Because
what was the energy that was actually
really
exchanged?
was, yeah.
Regardless of the words, what was the energy behind it?
Yeah.
And how did that make, that's probably what they're feeling, more so than the words and more so than the action of the staff. And we're talking management. This was a management mismanagement.
A mismanaged management.
Exactly. And that may have influenced the way their service then proceeded. And maybe they just didn't feel comfortable even with what would happen food service wise, comfort level in the room and walking around. And, I don't blame them for leaving. I wouldn't, because I'm that brazen. I'm not going to spend my money and then just walk away. So I'll make it uncomfortable for them in a way that I'm just there. No, I'm just saying I would, but I'm saying I'm going to be the one that's still there acting nice so that they feel uncomfortable about their actions. I'm not saying I'm going to do things to make them feel bad, other than the fact that I'm just going to kill them with kindness and they're going to go, I can't believe we acted like that when we leave, because I think it's absurd.
There could have been more correspondence going back and forth, but MSC did confirm that there was somebody who didn't want to be filmed. They did confirm that they handled it badly. They did offer them a free cruise to come back, and they're like,
the sad thing is they were even invited to go and they chose to go back and pay for their own because they didn't want it to be influenced by a paid trip.
Right.
So
they want to be non-biased.
Right.
And I appreciate that about their channel. They've got a lot of integrity. They are honest. And I'm going to say that I probably wouldn't agree with them wholeheartedly on a lot of their opinions, but their opinions do matter to me, a consumer in the cruise industry. And as a vlogger, I'm trying to unpack this. And I think that my biggest takeaway is, no matter what was said, if Ben felt that uncomfortable, and David as well, if they felt that uncomfortable to leave, I think that there was some energy and some serious mean mugging that was happening, that they didn't feel that they could enjoy the rest of their cruise. And they don't necessarily do it for vacation purposes. So they opted to leave. I hope that, MSC does something better in the future for it. They did say that they want vloggers to come on and do the things. So I'm excited about that. But you and I were highly considering an MSC cruise based on what we knew, because we are almost at a platinum status over on Carnival.
If we get status matching, it might
be a thing. This particular suite in the yacht club cost them, I think it was like $5,000 for.
It was 4,500 pounds, which was $5,700.
$5,700, which is quite a lot in US. But if you were on Norwegian or
to stay at that level on other cruise ships, it's close to twice, if not 3 times as much, depending on the cruise line.
It's ridiculous. So
and the amenities were better.
We were considering this as maybe a value cruise that we could do with others that might be first time cruisers or don't have a whole lot of money. We're also considering a very big trip coming up in 2026 back to Europe. So this was one of the things that we were looking at. And so it just felt like it was a little bit of a damper. But hey, Ben and David, we love you. And we know they're not going to stop doing all the things that you do. But if you do see this, we just want to say thank you. We just want to say thank you.
We enjoy watching from your point of view. Y'all cruise a little differently than we do. And we appreciate that because it shows us things that we probably won't see. and we
Right.
like that. So
Yeah, we do. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Should censorship be allowed in a cruise type situation? Cruise ships are private vessels, so you will have to do what the crew says. There is a brig down below. Like, oh, what hill do you really want to die on here? A brig is like a little mini jail down below on the cruise ships. And what the captain says and what the management says goes. And you want to be respectful of that, but you also paid your own money, and different people do different things. You go to Disneyland or Disney World and you've got cameras in your face and other people with great big huge rigs. I've been on rides where this guy with his camera, and I'm like, really? And it was a bit of a bummer, but I don't think that it really equates here.
it doesn't.
No.
What do you think about that in 2024 and going out in public and especially in these entertainment type areas where you're going out for vacation and enjoying yourselves and seeing the sights? Do you think people should be able to take pictures, or are you allowed to be in the background of their photos or videos? I mean, not are you allowed, but how do you feel about that happening?
Yeah.
So I don't see how you escape that in this day and age. 30 years ago, yeah, that wasn't a real common thing, but nowadays it's just so much in your face everywhere you go.
I mean,
Let's
while you're
face it, we're always
shopping, while
being
you're
filmed.
driving,
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a camera on you, so it's like, how private are you really going to want to be? I mean, did you get a bathing suit that you didn't like and you don't want people to film you? Like, I mean, come on, people aren't really going to notice you. And a lot of us generally don't film the background and the people. But some of us, Ben and David included, I've seen where they lightly blur the background. But I mean, I think that's very
I think
nice.
that's settings. That's
very
something
nice.
on your cameras that you can do where it gives a focal point so that it blurs out slightly in the background.
Yeah,
it's artistic, but it also protects people from
privacy. Yeah, absolutely. So what say you? What do you guys think about all of this? Leave your comment below. Tell us where you've been recently. We're about to tell you where we're about to go. So yeah, we're doing a live here shortly, and we're gonna go over some tips, not some tips. I would say tips and tricks. I don't know why that just comes off my tongue.
say that.
I like to say tips and tricks.
New tips and tricks.
We got no tips. We got no tips.
Well,
we got no tricks.
At times.
Yeah.
Just they're not new ones.
We have updates. That's what we have. We have updates. There's the verbiage. We have updates, some announcements in regards to this channel and some others and some things that we have been doing and been very busy with. So we hope that you will come on over and join us for the live. If you don't catch the live, you can always see it updated so that you can keep in touch. We also would like to invite you to like and subscribe this video. Why? Because it helps us get seen. It helps our algorithms. We're growing our channel. This is something that we really enjoy to do. He's not just a pirate on cruises. He's literally a pirate in real life. So
not really. I'm a Viking that likes to play pirate.
Yes.
Okay, I'm not a Viking. I'm a Nord or a Scandinavian or of that descendancy, and I like to play pirate. I was told if I didn't grow up by the time I was 50, I didn't have to.
Okay.
So I refused.
Now, what are you, 35?
What you talking about?
I'm just kidding. It's our anniversary.
Turned 59 this year.
59? The old fogey.
Yeah.
Old broken pirate.
That's it.
Okay, well, that's all for us. We love your faces. Keep cruising.
All right.
What do you say?
Wind in your sails.
Wind in your sails? I should say fair winds.
Yep.
All right, whatever.
Fair winds.
I don't have the vernacular down.
Fair winds. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.